what do we got today, guys? TX16 DFC. This is the biggest chopper that I've ever owned. I will be mating it this coming weekend. I believe I have everything all set up. I've done some test hovering to make sure that everything's working properly. I definitely don't have enough room to fly this anywhere comfortably until I get to the flight field. But I kind of wanted to go through some of the programming on the TX16. It's going to vary from flight controller to flight controller. I use Spirit Flybarless. You can use whatever you want. Icon, V-bar, K-bar. You know, there's numerous ones out there that you can use. But for all intents and purposes, I'm just going to show you the basic setup here on the radio. Same setup that I use on my Devil 420. Very, very subtle variations between the two. So, let's jump right into it. Obviously, you set up your name. You bind. Now, I use a BEC on this one, so I don't have to worry about my motor being engaged and accidentally going crazy on me. Thing's got some crazy fast servos in it. So as you can see, once it's already bound, your LED should be constant on the DSMX. So let's go into our inputs here. So you can see first I have a switch right here that is set up for rate mode. So this one would be 100% pretty much everything. And then that's generally what I fly in, which is just 80%. And that's why you see 2 ailerons, 2 elevators, 2 throttles. Well, multiple throttles there, 2 rudders. And that's what that mess is right there. But you really don't need all that if you want to just set it and forget it. So the flight mode that I usually use is 80%. So we'll see here, its weight is set to 80%, expo is 45%. It's kind of a lot, but it's good for me right now, so I don't make snappy corrections on accident. Elevator, 45% as well. So my SF is basically just, that's going to be motor on.
Engine off.
And that's going to be motor off. So that's my SF. Now this one's going to be throttle normal mode. So this is what I do for my flight mode switch, this 3-position switch. In the all the way back position, I'm just going to be in normal mode, which means that, you know, I have gradual throttle as I work up, and then it will be at full throttle about mid-stick, and then I will start getting collective to lift the helicopter off. But you will have no negative pitch, or very, very little negative pitch, so you won't be in an idle up mode, just a normal mode. So that's what I have the throttle at for normal mode. And then my idle up 1, which is this switch.
Flight mode 1.
So now I would be able to get negative pitch as well as positive. Currently I have my idle up is set to my idle up 1 is set to around, I want to say 11 degrees of pitch, 10.5, 11. And then my idle up 2, I usually 13, 14 pitch degrees.
Flight mode 1.
Just to give you an idea on that one. But anyway, that's the throttle for idle up 2. Or I'm sorry, idle up 1. This is the throttle for idle up 2. And then my rudder, again, I'm usually using the 80%. 80% and 25 expo, just so I don't make any crazy movements. And that's it for inputs. And then we would come over to mixes. Channel 1 aileron, channel 2 elevator, throttle, rudder. So S1, again, this is going to depend on your flight controller, and you'll be able to set this if you want to set this in your flight controller software. I'll probably make a Spirit Flybarless video at some point here, but for now, we're not going to worry about the flight controller. So I set that to this knob, and what that does for me, as you can see here, I named it gyro. So that's my gyro gain. The only thing that gyro gain really does on my helicopter is I can switch into heading lock mode, or I can switch to stability mode, so basically auto leveling. Channel 6 I put pitch, and then channel 7 I put rescue, and then channel 8 is different styles. Those probably you won't mess with really, unless your flight controller has a rescue or something like that. So let's pop over to our curves. This is something that I really don't do on airplanes. So I have throttle curve right here for the standard. This is throttle curve for my normal mode. That's what I have that set to, 100, 45, 45, 45. I'm sorry, negative 100, so off. And then 45. So 45% is all I do for normal mode. Throttle curve for idle up 1, 60, 60, 60. And then idle up 2 is 80 and 80. And then my pitch curves, that's pitch 1, which would be normal mode. Pitch 2 is for my idle up 1, and then pitch 3 is for idle up 2. And then I put this expos in here, but I really have no idea why, so that's not really necessary. So under special functions, I have all my tracks for engine off, flight mode normal, flight mode 1, 2, engine armed. I set my armed switch so that when you go to disarmed, that will shut off or it'll reset your timer. And I like to do that because when you're flying, it immediately is kicked on, and then when you're done flying, it resets the timer. So that's the basics that I have set in here. And this is just radio programming. I just wanted to go over it a little bit for OpenTX. I will make a separate video for mechanical setup on a helicopter and a separate video for the Flybarless units that I do use. So I have 2 Spirits, and then I also have a V-Bar Neo that I haven't installed on a heli yet. Most likely it's going to go on the name brand Goblin 420 because it does not have a flight controller yet. So we'll probably throw the V-Bar Neo on there because these 2 are running Spirits. And I really, really like the Spirit. Ever since I first used one, I fell in love with it. So we'll see if Mikado can do the same for me. I purchased the Professional Plus Rescue. So this will have auto leveling and rescue. And you can use 2 different satellites on it at once. My current Spirit 1s just have 1 satellite port, but I haven't ran into an issue yet. But anyway, guys, that's the basic setup on a TX16. As always, subscribe.